My name is Aman. I'm the VP of Products at Getna Parking. That's a simpler title than it sounds. I look at product strategy, I lead the product design and BI team. A good part of my job also involves interfacing with business teams, accounts teams, understanding where the market is going, being a part of sales initiatives, where I also go on calls with customers, prospective customers, give them an idea of what we have, how it can help them, and if there need to be any customized solutions that we bring to the fore. There are multiple facets to it that keep evolving as the product strategy evolves and we enter new markets, vendor relationships. I'm sure we can talk about that for hours, but that's the gist of it. Oh, Express was quite a roller coaster journey. It still is. The journey has been phenomenal. The amount of success we have received, the feedback we have received, and the overall, let's say, growth that the team has had and the company has had, not just from a revenue standpoint, but understanding where the industry is going, what is required to keep just one location up. That's like improved on a massive, massive level. What has also changed is how our customers now look at us. Earlier, we were, for most of our customers, an add-on solution to what they already had. We were another option to them. We have now, it's no more an option. It is the only way to do, and it's an easier way to do business than whatever they've been doing so far, which is reflected in the fact that we have been adding more and more locations every month. We have committed go lives next year, and more ideas are now coming from our customers how Express can help them. So it's been going good and will continue to grow. Whenever we looked at parking before, we always looked at solving a problem, for which we were selling a solution, and that was it. When you think about Express, what you actually are doing now is owning a location end to end. Every use case that can go through a location is now inside Express. So Express, if you look at it, is not just a product; it's an amalgamation of every product we have built over the last years. So think of it as a summit on top of a mountain. Express is that peak where all the paths are now leading to, and that's where now the team is seeing the final value come in, where everything intertwines with each other, and the experiences of all those touch points, all those interfaces, all those workflows need to align with each other to deliver value. And nothing should in any way be, let's say, moving away from it, or be on a non-aligned setup from it. So the team's maturity, the team's attentiveness to the problem statements themselves, the way team now anticipates problems, that itself has changed. We now look at not just the 5% people who were parking with us before, we'll have to look at 100%. So think about mothers with kids in the back of their car which have their phones. How will they pay if they don't have their phone with them? So credit card machines came in. Think about people who do not have smartphones. So QR code validations came in. Think about people whose phones have died on them or they don't remember the license plate. So text message validations have come in. So Express has led to improvements not just in the product, not just in its own vertical. It has led to sweeping changes across multiple products. The consumer experience, almost 100% of it is now automated. As a consumer, when you transact in a location, you wouldn't even know if the cameras made a mistake, if the AI made a mistake, because the consumer experience is meant to, or is designed in a way that the consumer can get out of the location with minimum touch points, minimum hassles involved. What we've also added is, as products scale, as transactions scale, automation becomes more and more relevant, because the more your volume increases, even a percent of that will still be a very high number. We've seen AI evolve and take up that challenge, and about half of the sessions that, let's say, come into a gray zone for us are now cleared through AI. So those automations are being developed, being improved almost every cycle, every iteration that we do. And we're getting more and more support, more and more data points through our partners, through the camera companies, through billing companies, through credit card companies, where we are building more and more logics around how we improve every aspect of the problem, be it identification of the user, be it payments for the user, be it validations for the user. So every touch point is being improved and more automation is coming there. There is practically no limits we are defining for ourselves. So customization actually revolves a lot around, what level of customization are we talking about? Is it just branding? Is it just text? Or, we build separate workflows to cater for certain industries or certain business cases. So validations workflows has seen some changes come around that. Our AR portal, our billing cycle products, those have seen some changes. Some more changes will come around, different modes of payments for those. typically involving high ticket value payments. So that will come in the next year. We are also adding more capabilities on our admin or our back end or a back office tool, as our customers call it. We are adding translation support on that to allow it to reflect changes across multiple languages, to make it more user friendly. And those changes are also coming to some of our consumer products which were earlier not there. And the display tool in itself, the kiosk, that has a lot of customization options, including advertisements, including custom text, custom notifications that you want to do at the location. So depending on which product, which touch point we are talking about, multiple changes have been affected there. I mean, there's a lot of work this year that we are proud of, having added a good amount of stuff for this year and set targets for next year. One thing in particular was what we call our lane activity tool. So when we rolled out Express, when we started easing the problem of stuck gates or stuck users, we found that for those 1 or 2% or 3% odd users that need help in getting out because of, let's say, there's some issue with their accounts, there needed to be a real time way for us to show what happened in the lane and allow people to take decisions with enough information at the click of a button. The objective was to make support, in lane support, a much more smoother process. We did an internal hackathon around it. A couple of our guys in 48 hours created a draft V1 of the solution, or let's say V0.1 of the solution. We spent about 2 weeks improving that, adding some other bits to it, making it production ready, and then we were able to roll it out. And that location and that tool itself is now one of the most used tools for troubleshooting across the platform. And we keep on getting more and more positive feedback how we have been able to learn from whatever we are building, and it seems like the products are now coming in a natural progression instead of being built as a one-off event. The customers are really loving that experience, where as and when they discover more solutions and whatever small problems that come out of it, the next solution helps them bridge that, and for them it's a natural journey. So yeah, that lean activity tool is something we're particularly proud of. Think about US, which is where our focus is, and even Australia for that matter, where we are seeing a lot of activity come up. The level of automation in parking access control that you were looking at, let's say 2 years or 3 years back, license plate recognition, the US would never have dreamed of doing it 2 3 years back. The feedback we were gathering, the data we were collecting, customers, property owners, groups were a bit reluctant or a bit hesitant to trust a technology that is struggling in a market which has maybe 10,000 types of license plate formats that can exist in one country. And US is a very contrast case to the rest of the world. It just makes it 10 times more difficult. Fast forward to 2023, 2024, this year specifically, everybody wants to do license plate recognition because this is the only technology that has the least amount of friction to onboard users, to help users transact, pay, and to make things as simple as possible. And what we are seeing is that the industry is now demanding solutions centered around this. And that is a great news for us because that allows us to innovate without having to worry about whether a solution's applicability in a market will be a question anymore. 2 3 years back, it was. Now it is the norm, which is really a great thing for us because the whole, when you solve problems, when you build new products, educating the market, educating the customer about a problem statement is oftentimes a challenge. Turns out the market is already educated and waiting for a solution, which sets us on the right path. And you'll see a lot of technology, a lot of AI keep entering our products, and you would see a lot more locations out there. I'm soon hoping to see people parking at locations that are powered by us all across the US, all across Australia, Europe, where we are deployed. In particular, I see a lot more automation coming in parking operations, and our footprint increasing on a massive scale.